What is going on, folks? My name is Spice. This is Spice Can't Fish. Today we are at the local Dick's Sporting Goods. We're gonna go do some tackle shopping. And we've been doing a good amount of unboxings on the channel recently, but most of them have been like mystery tackle box style unboxings. So I figured we may as well go out and like actually pick up some baits, some stuff that I actually know that I need. So I made myself a nice little list here, and we're gonna see if we can check as many things off this list as possible. I'm also gonna look around and see if I can find some stuff for maybe some challenge videos next year. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna pick up overall. I'm sure I'll find some stuff that I probably don't need, but we'll end up buying anyway. But we're gonna get on in here. I think they close in a little bit, so we're gonna try and make this super short. But yeah, I'm gonna go pick out some stuff, and then I'll meet you guys back at my place and we'll go over what I picked out. I may have gone a little bit overboard, folks. So as you guys saw in the very beginning of this video, I went to that Dick's Sporting Goods with three main goals in mind. Number one, I wanted to stock up on all my terminal tackle that I'm going to need for the next year. Number two, I wanted to get a few little baits here and there for some challenge videos and a couple of things that I needed for the spring. And number three, I wanted to not really buy a whole ton of soft plastics, because I have a ton of soft plastics. I don't really need a whole ton more. The goal at first was to not spend too much money, but as you guys can tell, that obviously didn't happen. What actually ended up happening was I went, picked out all the terminal tackle that I thought I was going to need and a couple other baits here and there, looked down at the basket and realized that it was pretty much halfway full. I probably had about $300 worth of stuff already. And then I kind of figured, you know what, since I'm already spending a ton of money, I may as well just bite the bullet and go all in with it, make a super crazy video for you guys and do something that I've wanted to do for a really long time. And so with that in mind, I went through the entirety of that Dick's Sporting Goods, picked out every single bait in that store that I thought looked good, everything I wanted to try this year, everything I wanted to stock up on. And so that led to this. I've got a nice big old bag of some terminal tackle, I've got a nice big bag of some hard baits, and then I know I said I didn't want to buy any more soft baits, but obviously we have a literal overflowing bag of soft plastics to go through. So it's currently 8:44, we'll call that 8:45 in the morning, while I'm starting to film this unboxing, and we're going to see how long it takes for me to actually finish going through all this stuff, unboxing it and filming all of it. But yeah, like I said, we got an absolute dump truck worth of stuff to go through, so we're going to get after it. This is going to be a super long unboxing for you guys. It's going to take forever for me to edit, I can tell you that much already. But I've got them all separated. Like I said, we've got a bag of terminal tackle, we got a bag of hard baits, and then a real big bag of soft baits. I think we'll probably start with the terminal tackle, just get that knocked out of the way real quick, just because it's really not all that interesting. Then we'll go through the hard baits, and then make our way into that massive sack of soft baits that I probably shouldn't have bought, but I did. But yeah, I'm gonna start again, like I said, by organizing the terminal tackle. I'm gonna kind of set it all up on my bed in like a good order to talk about it. And we're just gonna run through this stuff as fast as possible. But yeah, I'm gonna go through this stuff real quick, and I'll meet up with you guys again once I'm done organizing it. Alright, so organizing the terminal tackle actually didn't take all that long. I did just kind of get a bunch of repeats of some stuff, but like I said, we're just going to run through this stuff real fast. First thing that I picked up was some line. Got a couple of different types of braid, well, a couple of different packs of braid. These are both the Suffix Pro Mix braid. We got a pack of the 10 pound and a pack of the 15 pound. These are obviously for my spinning rods. Most of my spinning rods are kind of running out of line at this point, and they all have like some old monofilament on it, so we're going to switch those out for some nice new shiny braid. And yeah, these are just going to be backing. Like I said, they're that bright green color, so that should help me see the line a little bit better. That's one thing that I hear a lot of people talk about, and something that I don't really do, but would kind of like to do, is be able to watch my line a little bit better and be able to see when it starts jumping, because it'll help me actually catch a few more fish. Also got some Strike King monofilament. Again, just some super light stuff. This is 6 pound. This is for like super light drop shots, super light Ned rig, stuff like that. It'll probably end up being some leader line, probably on the 10 pound braid. Again, 6 pound leader to a 10 pound braid would probably be pretty good for some super light, super finessey. But yeah, just picked up a couple of packs of braid. I also got myself another rod glove, just because I feel like I always need some more rod gloves. I keep picking up rods that don't have enough rod gloves for them, so got myself another one. This is just the black and blue normal one. But yeah, this just kind of protects your rods. If you guys don't have any of these rod gloves, I would suggest getting your hands on some kind of them. It doesn't have to be this one. I honestly would suggest going with one of the neoprene ones, but these ones are pretty inexpensive, so if you just want something for like a few days or a couple of months or a season or two or something like that, or if you're the kind of person who cuts all your hooks off before you put your stuff back in your car, this thing is perfectly fine for you. I just find that a lot of the times the hooks will get caught in this stuff, and if you don't take your baits off like me, then obviously you kind of run the risk of getting all your hooks stuck in that little mesh stuff. But yeah, this is actually one of the spinning rod ones. I needed one for my third spinning rod. I have 3 spinning rods and only 2 spinning rod covers, so picked up one of those, and yeah, should be perfect for that. Alrighty, I also picked up a whole bunch of just different swim bait heads, little micro swim bait jig heads. I've been running super low on them, and I don't really throw little swim baits all that much, so I didn't have very many to start off. But it's something that I want to throw a little bit more coming this year. I actually picked up a couple of packs of smaller swim baits as well, which we'll get into in probably a couple hours, but right now we're going to go through the swim bait heads that I'm going to be throwing them on. Starting off with these little finesse eyes. These are the Z-Mans. It's a 3-pack with a 1/0 hook on it. They're 1/8 ounce size, and I just got a couple of them in the white color. Sorry, they call that pearl color, but again, just like a super bright white, like perfect bait fish imitator for a smaller swim bait. I don't really know a whole ton about these finesse eyes, but I hear they're pretty decent. They seem like they have a pretty good bait keeper on it at least, so really excited to put these things out on the water and see what we can do with them. And then very similarly, I got the BMC swim bait jig head. This is pretty much the exact same thing as those little Z-Man ones. Little 1/8 ounce 3-pack, and again, I think that's that pearl color. Sorry, I guess I got 1 pack of the white ones, and then I got a pack of the bluegill ones as well, so got a little bit of a variation in terms of head size or head color there, but they're both the same size, they're both the exact same thing, just a little bit of a different color. And then we got some of the boxer jigs, which again are another version of the VMC swim bait heads. They're just little, super small, tiny guys. They're just like a super small, finessey swim bait head. Again, very similar to the last 2 things that I showed you. We got a couple of different colors. We got the unpainted ones, these guys. And then I also picked up a pack of the white ones as well, or the pearl ones, whatever they want to call that color. But again, just little 1/8 ounce heads. 1/8 ounce I think is a perfect size. It's not too heavy or not too light. You can throw it pretty shallow, you can throw it pretty deep. It's just like a good versatile all-around head size for those smaller swim baits. Then to throw some bigger swim baits on, we also got some heavy-duty swim bait hooks from VMC. I've been throwing these things for years. We got the 3/0 size with the 1/8 ounce weight. These things come in a 4-pack. Again, I've been throwing them forever. I've got a bunch of these things. I've caught a ton of fish on them. They're really good little swim bait hooks. Honestly, I feel like VMC is one of those underappreciated hook companies, but I've been using them for years, mostly because it feels like the Dick's Sporting Goods that's right near my house has almost all of the VMC hooks and then almost nothing of anything else. So yeah, most of my hooks are going to be VMC hooks. You guys are going to see a ton of VMC hooks here in the future, as well as just in general on the channel. But got ourselves some of the heavy-duty swim bait hooks. Then I also got 3 packs of the 4/0 size of the bladed swim bait hooks. And these are 3/16 ounce. They come in a 2-pack. And again, just a little bit of a bigger size 4/0 for, again, some of those little bit larger swim baits. These are perfect for throwing in on high tech or Rage Swimmer or any of those normal size swim baits. But yeah, just got a few packs of those to stock up. Again, I've been running a little bit low on some swim bait hooks and stuff, especially some weedless underspins, so picked up a few more of those, which I'm super stoked about. Alrighty, just a couple little finessey things that I got. I got a couple packs of the VMC tungsten teardrop weights. Didn't have a ton of tungsten drop shot weights or really any sort of drop shot weights in there for whatever reason. So I grabbed like the last 2 packs of these little drop shot weights. They just come in a 4-pack. I wish I could have grabbed some more of them, but again, they really didn't have very many in stock, so we might have to pick up some more in the future. But yeah, these are the little 1/8 ounce ones. Again, come in a little 4-pack. Should be perfect for doing some drop shot. And that's something that I want to work on a little bit more and get a little bit more confidence in this coming year is the drop shot. So figure we may as well pick up some more weights for them since I'm running a little bit low. And I also picked up some of these swing and Ned rig jigs, which are 1/16 ounce. They come in a 3-pack. These things are pretty cool. I've never seen them before, but again, they're from VMC. And they're essentially just a Ned rig, but the head kind of swings a little bit. Should get the bait a little bit more action while it's sitting on the bottom. You can also rig them kind of Texas rigged weedless on this thing if you want, which is super, super cool. But yeah, we're definitely going to have to play around with these things in the spring and summer, see if we can get fed on them. Really interesting idea right there. Alright, next up we got some bobber stops. We got 2 54 packs of bobber stops. I didn't even know that they made bobber stops in packs this big, but we picked up a couple of them. These are Strike King bobber stops. They look pretty solid. I've never used them before, but they look decent. Again, I just picked them up because they are in 54 packs, so we got 108 more bobber stops to go through this year. Hopefully I don't need to buy any more this year, because if we go through 108 bobber stops, we got an issue. And then of course you use those bobber stops for flipping, so I also picked up a few more packs of flipping hooks. We got 3 packs of the VMC flipping hooks, we got a couple of the 3/0 and one of the 4/0 as well. Just a couple of different sizes right there. And then again, like I said, they don't really have a great selection of anything else, but I did end up picking up 1 pack of the Guggenbait's Bandito flipping hooks. These are the 5/0 size, so they're a little bit bigger. This is the only pack of 5/0 flipping hooks that I could find in that store, so figured I'd pick some up. So we got some 3/0 for some smaller baits, some 4/0 for a little bit bigger baits. And then if we're flipping something super big, like a 7-inch or a 10-inch worm, or like a creature bait of some sort, like a brush hog or something that style, then we got the big old 5/0 hooks for those. But yeah, that was all the terminal tackle we got. It seemed like a whole lot less than actually what it cost. I don't know why terminal tackle is so friggin' expensive, but we got a ton of stuff to stock us up for the new year, and I'm really excited to have a lot of that stuff. Again, a lot of the stuff that I bought in terms of terminal tackle was just stuff that I needed to stock up on. Got a couple of things that I want to try, like those little Ned rig heads and stuff, but mostly everything in there is just stuff that I really needed. But yeah, next up we're going to do the exact same thing. We got all the hard baits right here, so I'm going to kind of sort through these things and kind of separate them out, figure out a good order to talk about them in, and I'll get back to you guys in a minute. Alright, so I've got all the hard baits kind of put in some sort of an order and organized, so we're going to go through them. We're going to start off with these because they're almost terminal tackle. Got ourselves a couple of spoons. These are actually saltwater spoons, or the sea striker version of the casting spoons, but we got ourselves a 1/4 ounce and a 1/2 ounce, just a couple of smaller guys for this time of the year. A spoon is something I don't really throw a whole ton, although I know that it's a really good bait, both in the really cold water and the really warm water. In the summertime, people catch fish on monster spoons, but this time of the year, they kind of downsize and catch them on some smaller spoons. So I figured I may as well pick up some that are kind of small, not super small, but small enough. So we got this little 1/4 ounce guy. I think that's just like a straight silver color. I don't really know what they call them. They don't have any sort of color names on them, but we got this 1/4 ounce guy, which is just that straight silver, like I said. And then we got this 1/2 ounce guy, which kind of has like this interesting little scale pattern on it, but again, mostly just a silver body as well. And yeah, these are going to be good for vertical jigging, throwing out, fishing deep. Again, this is a perfect time of year to be throwing spoons. I don't have a ton of them, which is why I picked up a couple of them. And hopefully within the next few weeks, I'm actually able to get out and do some fishing. So if I am actually able to do that, then you guys will definitely be seeing me throw some of these spoons around a little bit. Alrighty, next up, I went through there, and one of the few things that I actually did want to pick up was obviously one of the few things that they had almost nothing of, that being jigs. So we only got a couple of jigs here. This is, again, the only real flipping jig that I could actually find in that store. I guess nobody on Long Island does any flipping of any kind. But we got ourselves a couple of the Strike King Bitsy flips. Got the 3/8 ounce size in the green pumpkin color, and then a 1/2 ounce size in a black and blue. I was really going in there looking for some black and blue flipping jigs, but again, I only found one, so we got one new black and blue flipping jig for next season. I'm just going to hope and pray that I don't lose this thing, because we have very few jigs to work with. But yeah, got ourselves a couple new jigs to add to the arsenal. A jig, and especially a flipping jig, is something that I want to learn a little bit more again this year. A lot of the stuff that I picked up was stuff that I don't have a ton of confidence in, stuff that I want to be throwing a little bit more going into this new year. But yeah, so we got a couple of jigs for the arsenal. I've caught fish on these Bitsy flips before, so I know they work. I was hoping to hopefully pick up some more than 2 jigs, but this is all we got, so got ourselves a couple new jigs. Okay, another thing that I was really looking for, and again, they didn't really have in stock, was Buzzbaits, but I did end up finding one that looked pretty decent. Again, this is a Strike King bait. This is the Bleeding Elite Buzzbait. I don't really know what makes this elite. Apparently the bleeding part comes from the fact that the hook is red. That really makes little to no difference to me. I was just looking for mostly a black buzzbait. And this is the closest I could find. It's a 3/8 ounce size. I don't know what color they call that. I guess it's probably like bleeding black or something like that. But yeah, got ourselves a little black buzzbait to throw around. So hopefully I'll be able to catch some fish and really learn how a buzzbait works, because they're a great little bait. I hear a lot of older folks especially talking about throwing a buzzbait, catching giants on it. But it's not something that I feel like a lot of people these days throw. So it's something that I would like to learn a little bit better, something I'd like to catch a few more fish on, really add to my arsenal. And so yeah, we got ourselves another little striking buzzbait. And the last jig that we got is actually a bladed jig. This is the new ChatterBait Elite Evo by Z-Man. I'm really excited to throw this thing around. I've heard a lot of really good things about it. I don't know exactly what makes it different from a normal chatterbait, although it does tell us right here, so I'm going to read for a sec and then I'll let you know. Alright, so a few of the things that they point out on this bait that make it a little bit different from a normal chatterbait. It's got a custom 5/0 heavy-duty needlepoint black nickel hook, which is a friggin' mouthful. They've got a hybrid molded split grip and wire trailer keeper, which obviously will help to keep your trailers on there a little bit better. They've got 100% wire-tied silicone skirting, highly detailed paint and skirt color schemes and lifelike 3D eyes, and a patented direct head-to-blade connection and trademark hex-shaped chatterblade, which is obviously the hexagon-shaped blade that the chatterbait is known for. They call this color Hot Snakes. It's kind of like a nice mix between a bluegill and a shad. Honestly, just a great little baitfish imitator regardless of what kind of baitfish you're trying to imitate. This could be a crappie imitator, it could be a perch imitator, a shad, a bluegill, an alewife, pretty much anything. It's got a little bit of chartreuse on the bottom, a little bit of green pumpkin on top, and then just kind of like a shad baitfish kind of color in the middle. But a great looking color regardless. I really wanted to try these Evos out, and I'm super stoked they finally had them in stock at the local Dick's, so figured I may as well pick one up. And yeah, now we got ourselves a new bladed jig to throw around. You guys know how much I love throwing a bladed jig, especially in the springtime, so this thing comes pre-spawn is going to get some absolute work. Alrighty, also from Z-Man, I decided to pick up one of these Hellraisers. I've seen them everywhere. You see them all over social media. They're a really weird looking bait. They're topwater if you guys have never seen these before. But they've got like this weird blade on the back. Supposedly it makes like a really interesting erratic action on top of the water. I've seen a few people throw these things around. I've seen some people catch some really nice fish on them. So I figured I may as well pick one up because again, I want to do a challenge video on these things at some point. This is the snow color, so it's just a bright white. This is the only color they had in the local Dick's, but we're going to give this thing a shot this spring and summer, see if we can get bit on it. Again, I feel like this would be a super fun challenge video, so we're definitely going to keep this thing in a little challenge box, and come the summertime, I think we're going to get bit on this little Hellraiser right here. But yeah, it's 5 inches, 5/8 of an ounce, and again, just a really odd looking bait. I really don't know what the action's supposed to look like. The line tie is like halfway down the bait. It's very strange. I really don't know what they were thinking when they designed it, but supposedly it works and supposedly it catches fish. Alrighty, another ridiculous topwater for a challenge video. Look at the size of that spook, folks. So this is the Dark Matter Astro Spook. This is, as you could probably imagine, a saltwater spook. It's made for giant saltwater fish, giant bluefish, giant striper, giant tuna. But I figured we may as well pick it up, see if we can catch some giant largemouth on it as well. It's a massive spook. Hang on, I'm actually going to grab a normal size spook to get like a size comparison for you guys. Alright, so this is what I would consider to be a normal size spook. This is a river to sea rover, I think is what they call that, but that's just kind of like a normal size spook. And then there's that size comparison for you guys. As you can see, the Astro Spook's just a little bit bigger. Like, Jesus Christ, that is absurd. That's a crazy size comparison. But yeah, picked up an Astro Spook. I don't know what they call this color. It's kind of like a weird green matte color, but yeah, figured we may as well throw this thing around for a giant topwater challenge video. I'm planning on doing a ton of challenge videos this year, and hopefully we'll be able to actually make this one happen, because I feel like catching a largemouth on this thing would be absolutely hilarious. But yeah, got ourselves a giant spook. I don't even know how big this thing is considered. It might be like 4 ounces or something like that. It's a big boy. Oh, and I just realized they call that color pickle, so that definitely makes sense now that they say that the color is pickle. I definitely see it. But yeah, it's just kind of like a dark green with like some weird spots on either side. Really interesting looking bait color. But yeah, should be able to get bit on this thing. It's just a little bit big, so definitely keep a lookout for this video at some point in the future. Alrighty, enough with the challenge baits, at least for the moment. We're going to get back into some more conventional stuff. I picked up a couple of different lipless crankbaits. I don't have a lot of like cross style lipless crankbaits, so I figured I'd pick up a couple in like a reddish or cross style color. So we got ourselves the old red-eye shad. This is the chili crawl color. I believe it's the 5/8 ounce size, just the normal, or sorry, the ½ ounce size. So just your normal size red-eye shad. And yeah, definitely glad to have that one in the arsenal. Again, kind of a limited selection in terms of red crankbaits for whatever reason. I guess a lot of people don't throw red squarebills or red liplesses around here. But again, I was able to find that one. I was also able to find myself a 6th Sense Thud 70. They called this color Jungle Rose. So again, a little bit of a crawfish style color, but a little bit different from that chili craw. It's almost more of an orange color than a red. It's a little bit more faded, a little bit more natural, so I think that should work pretty well. But yeah, got a couple red crankbaits to throw around. Again, pre-spawn is coming up here in a few weeks, so figured I may as well pick up some red crankbaits to throw once that water hits like low to mid 40s. Again, don't really have a lot of confidence in red lipless crankbaits, so we may as well throw some around this year, see if we can get bait on them early in the year. And yeah, with that in mind, figured I'd pick up a couple extra ones. Alright, kind of in the same vein, we got ourselves a couple of flat-sided square bills. A flat-sided square bill is again another bait that I don't have a ton of confidence in. I throw a lot of square bills, I just don't throw them when the water is super cold. But supposedly flat-sided square bills, and especially this Rapala OG series, is supposed to be really good for super cold water. So I saw a few, figured I may as well pick up a couple. We got two different sizes here. We got the Tiny 4, which I guess is like their little downsized version. It goes down to about 4 foot. Got a couple of different colors there. The top one is brown crawdad, so again, just like a craw style imitator for that super cold water. And then the bottom one is something they call Kusa Special. I don't really know what they're supposed to imitate with that bait, maybe like a bright perch or a bluegill or something, but really interesting color. I figured I may as well pick up at least one in an odd color. And then we got one of the Slim 6s, which is like the normal size in the red crawdad color. But yeah, these things are really cool. Again, shallow diver. They're flat-sided baits, like I said, so they'll be really good this time of the year when the water is really cold. The flatter the side, the more tight an action your bait has. Very similar to a lipless crankbait. You know how they have those really tight sides and they have that really tight action to them. A flat-sided crankbait is very similar. A little bit more of an erratic action, a little bit better around rock as well, but overall very similar presentation to like a lipless crankbait. And yeah, these ones have a circuit board lip. They're also made out of balsa, which is super nice. Balsa crankbaits, again, this time of the year are absolutely killer. And so yeah, these things are pretty expensive, but I figured I may as well pick up a few because we're just buying whatever we want, right? So may as well just grab a few little flat-sided crankbaits for this time of the year coming up here early in the pre-spawn. Alrighty then, next up we got ourselves a little Mock Baits Mock Shad. I actually picked up one of these at some point like last year to do a challenge video on. Never ended up doing the challenge video, but I also picked up one of the larger sizes. So whenever I do end up doing that challenge video, we'll have one of the little tiny guys, and then we'll have one of the normal size ones to compare it to. Again, just picked this up for a challenge video. I don't know a lot about the mock baits. I know Kicking Their Bass TV was kind of the one who backed this company and kind of created it. But yeah, this is the green gizzard color, so just like a lifelike bait fish imitator. It's a 1/2 ounce, 120 millimeters long, so probably about 5.5 to 6 inches. And yeah, pretty solid looking bait. Again, I don't know a lot about the mock baits. I haven't heard a whole lot about them. I don't really see people throwing them all too often, but I figured it'd be kind of an interesting little challenge video. Again, I picked one up a long time ago to actually do a video on, but now we got two, so hopefully when this challenge video eventually comes out, we'll be able to catch a couple of fish on both sizes and see what these things are made of. But yeah, the little mock shad is just kind of like a multi-jointed swimmer, very similar to like a baby bull shad or a baby bullgill, something like that. Just a little bit of a different profile, so I'm really excited to see what this thing can do once we get it out on the water. I just don't know a lot of like super clear bodies of water where they eat a small finessey swim bait like this, but hopefully we'll be able to find ourselves a couple of new ponds this coming year and hopefully find one that we can throw these baits around at. Actually, speaking of the baby bullgill, we've got a bait from the same company. This is the Mike Bucca's Baby Bull Rat. So this is the tiny version of the bull rat that Mike Bucca is really well known for. Obviously, he's super well known for the bull shad and the bull gill, but he also makes the rat style bait, the bull rat. And much like Catch Company, it has collaborated with him to bring the baby bull shad and the baby bull gill to market. They also made the baby bull rat. So this is like the downsized version of the normal size bull rat, like I think I've said 4 times at this point. This color is called Field Mouse, and it's a pretty lifelike looking little mouse imitator. It's 3.5 inches long and weighs about 3/4 of an ounce, so pretty manageable little topwater. And yeah, I'm really excited to throw this thing around. I haven't heard a whole lot about these baby bull rats, so maybe we'll do a little challenge video specifically on this bait as well. Regardless though, really excited to see what this thing can do in the water. If it's anything like the normal bull shads or the bull gills or the baby bull gills or the baby bull shads or any of the other Mike Bucca / Catch Go collaboration baits, I'm sure this thing is going to get bit. And I gotta say, I really like that field mouse color. It's a super natural mouse color, as you could probably imagine. Got those bright pink bubblegum tails. I also like that the bait comes with a replacement tail in case you lose that first one, but really sweet looking little bait regardless. Really stoked to get this thing in the water in the spring and summer and see if we can catch some fish on it. Alrighty, another bait that I got to do a review on is this. This is the Berkeley Coal Shad, the infamous Berkeley Coal Shad, I might say at this point. People have been saying this bait is a rip-off of the Mag Draft. I can definitely see it looking at it, but I hear it's a really solid bait regardless. And I've seen a lot of people catch some really good fish on it, so I figured when I saw it, I may as well pick it up. This was the last one in the Dick's Sporting Goods that was near me, so I figured I may as well just grab it. Soft plastic swim baits, especially the larger ones, are something that I'm going to be throwing around a whole lot this year. something I want to get a lot of confidence in. I know I can throw and catch fish on those big glide baits, but those big multi-jointed baits, as well as the big soft baits, are something that I kind of lack in terms of big bait fishing. But yeah, again, I figured I may as well do an unbiased review on this thing. Again, I see a lot of people just hype this thing up. A lot of people who work with Berkeley say it's the best thing ever. And then on the other end of the spectrum, it seems like everybody else absolutely hates this bait for whatever reason. I don't know what the deal is. I think it's more just the fact that they kind of imitated another bait that's on the market. But bait companies have been doing that for years. They've been doing it with jigs and spinner baits and chatterbaits and square bills and soft plastics and hard baits, hooks, weights. Everything has been imitated from somebody else. I really do think the swim bait guys are just a little bit butthurt that now it's happening to them too. Unfortunately, that is just kind of the way of the biz. It would be nice if you can just make something and then it's yours, but people are going to see it, people are going to think it's a good idea, and they're going to try and copy it or improve upon it. That's just kind of how consumerism works. But yeah, my little stupid rant aside, I'm really excited to throw this thing around. This is the Ghost Morning Dawn color, so we're definitely going to have to throw this thing around, see if it's worth the money, see if it's actually crap, and without any bias, I'll be able to let you guys know if it's a good bait or a crappy bait, because again, I don't really care one way or the other if someone's knocking off a bait or not. Like, if I like it, I'm just going to throw it. That's just kind of how I've always been. And to me, this doesn't look like a bad bait. I've seen people catch fish on it, so I know it performs pretty well. So as far as I'm concerned, it's a decent bait. We're just going to have to take it out, test it ourselves, and see what my honest thoughts and opinions are. But yeah, enough of that. We actually got a couple more of these like hard bait-esque baits. These are kind of like a mix between a hard bait and a soft bait, but they've got hooks in them, so I'm going to consider them hard baits. But we got ourselves one of the sleeper gills as well as a couple of the sleeper craws. These are a couple of new mega bass baits that I've heard a lot of really good things about, but never had a chance to throw them around myself. So I figured since we're balling out of dicks, I may as well pick them up since they're there. We got ourselves one of the sleeper gills in the Glitter Wild Gill color. Just a supernatural bluegill looking color. Really interested to throw this thing around and see how it performs. I've thrown the regular dark sleeper around a little bit, caught a couple of fish on it here and there, but I'm really excited to see how the bluegill imitator works. Again, a lot of the ponds that I fish don't have gobies in them, they have bluegill, so that should do a little bit better job matching the hatch. And yeah, we'll definitely be doing a challenge video or review style video on this thing at some point in the future. And then again, like I said, we got some of the sleeper craws. We got one of the watermelon red colors as well as one of the black and blues. These are, again, the craw style imitator, if you couldn't tell that already. And they're weedless, very similarly to the sleeper gill. I don't know if I mentioned that, but the hooks on all of these baits are actually inside of the plastic, so when you set the hook comes out, but otherwise they're pretty weedless. And they look super, super natural, which is an added benefit of not being able to see the hooks. So really excited to throw these things around. Again, this will be a challenge video at some point in the future. But yeah, that pretty much wraps up all of like the hard baits. Now we're going to get into the soft plastics, the true soft plastics that don't have any hooks or weights or anything in them. But yeah, regardless, got a ton of stuff to throw around this year, a ton of stuff to do some challenge and review style videos on. I am really excited to see what we can do on a lot of these baits coming up. Alrighty, now we are on to the soft plastics. Again, I didn't originally go in there intending to buy any soft plastics, and I think we ended up with like 25 or 30 packs of them, so we're going to go through them real quick. Alright, so we're going to start off with a couple of baits that I got for challenge videos. We got ourselves a couple of baits from Gulp. These are actually the Berkeley Gulp saltwater version baits. Both in the same color, although they are slightly different baits. We got ourselves a pack of the Grubs in the America color, which are a 6-inch bait. And then we also got ourselves a pack of the Swimmin' Mullets, which are a little 4-inch bait. But both of them, again, are in that America color. I picked these up for a challenge video at some point. I'd like to do a 4th of July challenge, and I feel like these would be perfect for that. Again, that America color is just red, white, and blue flakes, so should be perfect for a 4th of July style video. Although I'm not looking forward to opening these things, as you guys know, Gulp smells absolutely horrendous, and again, these are the saltwater versions, so I'm sure they smell even worse than the freshwater ones. But regardless, 4th of July, hopefully you guys will be seeing a little 4th of July challenge video with these guys. Alrighty, I also got these for some challenge videos. These are the Fish Lab Slamamander. I've never seen these before, but essentially they're just like a salamander style bait. Very interesting looking presentation. They've got almost like a swim bait style tail to them. And then other than that, they just do a great job of imitating a salamander. So they got like the salamander style body. They've got like the little wide style tail that salamanders tend to have. They have like a little flap on the tail. They even decided to put some little jig skirts in there to emulate some little gills. So really interesting, pretty lifelike looking little bait. These are the 4.5-inch size. I don't know if they make a different size, but got a couple of different colors. Got the green pumpkin as well as the black and blue right there. And yeah, we're gonna do a challenge video on these. I've done one on like a goby style bait a long time ago. That video ended up doing pretty well for my channel at that point. So I figured we may as well try and replicate that, do one with a bigger style bait, a little bit more of a salamander style imitator, so that should be pretty interesting. Alrighty, another bait that I got for another weird forage style challenge video is going to be these guys. These are the Hellraiser. These things are wild looking. I don't know why I picked up so many packs of them. I just kind of saw them in a bunch of different colors and my mind kind of went blank, but I ended up picking them up in 5 different colors, so we're going to be doing a heck of a challenge video on these things in the future. But yeah, these are the Hellraiser. Like I said, they come in a pack of 8. We got 5 different colors. We got the Northern Lights color, which is kind of like a goby or baitfish kind of imitator. It's almost like a dark brownish gray on the back and then a lighter gray with some blue and purple flake on the belly. Really good looking color, super natural and lifelike. Then we got the Earworm color, which I just got pretty much for the name, but it's also kind of an interesting looking color. It's very similar to like a watermelon seed or something, but it's more yellow, so really cool looking color there. Then we got Midsummer Night, which is like a black or a dark brown with like a little bit of orange flake in it. Again, really cool colors on all these baits. I've never seen colors like this. Then of course we got the old Bubblegum Lemon Swirl, which is a ridiculous looking color, but it's bubblegum and yellow and they mix together to make kind of like an orangey color, so really weird looking color there, but hopefully that'll get bit. And last up we got Copper Creek, which again is kind of like a darker brown, more natural color with some bright orange flake in it. But really interesting looking baits, a ton of really good colors on these things. At some point I'd like to do some adventures up into like upstate New York or something like that, see if we can find some creeks with potentially some smallmouth in them. And I feel like these things would be absolutely deadly on some creek smallmouth. So maybe we'll be able to find somewhere to do that little challenge video at. Or we'll just throw them around in some ponds, see if we can catch some pond largemouth on them. Regardless though, I think these things are going to get bit. They're pretty interesting little baits, really strange little profiles. I've never seen anything quite like it before. But yeah, like a Hellraiser just kind of looks like a weird like larvae of some sort, so even if there aren't specifically Hellraisers in the area, I'm sure a fish will eat this if it sees it. Okay, enough of the challenge video baits. We got a few baits that I just picked up just because I may as well. They were there and I saw them and I wanted them, so we grabbed them. So we got ourselves another pack of the Gillies. These things are pretty fun. I actually did a video reviewing these things. I'll leave that link down below for you guys if you want to go check that out. But we got ourselves the Berkeley Gillies here. This is the 110 size. This is kind of the in-between size. I've used the small one and the big one, but I've never used the middle size, so figured we may as well grab some of those. These are just the green pumpkin color. And yeah, they're cool little baits. They're really interesting. They're kind of just like a weird, like, fluke style bait almost, is kind of how I think of them. You can use them on a drop shot, you can use them on a Texas rig, but I've noticed that just weightless or with like a little tiny nail weight in the head, these things are sick. But yeah, they're pretty versatile little baits. You can punch with them, you can drop shot them, you can do everything in between. They're just kind of like a weird little baitfish profile, but really good bluegill imitator in terms of profile at least. And they seem to catch some pretty decent sized fish. I've seen people catch double digits on these things. When I did my review style video, the fishing was pretty slow, but we did catch some pretty decent sized fish on these things, so they seem like they catch some quality fish. And yeah, I figured we may as well just add another pack to the arsenal, because why not? They were there. Again, like I said, we were just kind of picking up everything that I thought looked good, and they looked good, so we got them. Also picked up a pack of the Tip Toads. These are just like a buzz toad style bait. I don't really throw buzz toads all too often, but I know they're pretty solid in terms of buzzbait trailers, which again, as I said like an hour ago at least at this point for me. And again, like I said, I want to try and throw a buzzbait a little bit more this year, so I figured we may as well pick up an extra pack of them. Again, don't really throw them all that much, and there's a ton of different baits that you can throw on the back of a buzzbait to get a good profile on it, but I figured I may as well just pick up one more pack of these little rivet style toads, because I think before I bought these I had 2 left. Not 2 packs, just 2 of these rivet style frogs. So we picked up another pack of them, so now at least we have like 7. Again, not a bait that I throw a whole ton, but good to have a couple extra packs laying around, and I am starting to run out of my last pack, so figure we may as well re-up with one more new pack. But yeah, this is the Bullfrog color. I've never actually used these tip toads before. They look pretty solid though. Look like a pretty good little bait. So yeah, pretty interested to throw these things around, see what they can do. I've thrown the Yum stuff a whole lot. I feel like they're kind of one of those underappreciated brands. People see Yum and they think cheap stuff, bargain bin stuff, but overall they actually have some pretty quality baits. And yeah, I figured since I haven't tried these ones out, I may as well give them a shot, and picked up a pack. Yeah, I just had to go and confirm. We have 2 of my little rivet frogs left, so now we got 7, which is good, I think. I think that's a good amount of rivet frogs to have. I think 7 is 7's enough. Okay, these things are really damn expensive, but I did want to pick up at least one more pack. These are the Yamamoto Slinkos, or the Slinkos, however you say it. I've had some fantastic luck on these worms last year, especially this time of the year when it's really, really cold. I think the first bite of the year actually came on one of these Slinkos. They're fantastic little baits for a shaky head or a Texas rig or something like that. I think they're actually designed specifically to be thrown on a shaky head. They have this nice little flat area where you can just kind of screw a little shaky head or thread a shaky head on super easily. And they float too, which is freaking sweet. So the tail will actually float up off the bottom and just kind of sit there by itself. You can dead stick these things. I've been bent on them, just letting them sit there. And yeah, only had a couple left in my last pack, so I figured I may as well get some more. These are in the black with blue flake color, so a little bit of a different color, but I figured I'd pick them up for some dirtier water. And yeah, these things are like $9 for a pack of 7, which is ridiculous, but they work. They definitely catch some fish, so I figured I may as well just pick up one. If I was a millionaire, I'd throw these things all the time, but I don't have that funny money, so I'm just going to stick with the one pack of Slinkos, and we're going to see if we can make these things last. Alright, so very similar to the shaky head worms, I did pick up some Senkos. I'm running very low on Senkos right now, so I figured I may as well at least pick up a couple of packs of them. I don't want to throw a lot of Senkos next year. I want to kind of broaden my horizons and throw some different style presentations, but I figured I may as well grab a couple. These are all the Yum Dingers, so they're the inexpensive style of the Senkos, but they're great. I like these things a whole lot, especially for a wacky rig. They're pretty durable. They don't have as good of an action on a Texas rig as a normal Senko. They tend to sink pretty slow. But when you're throwing a wacky rig, I actually like the bait to sink a little bit slower, so these are actually one of my favorite wacky rig baits right here. And we got ourselves a couple of really interesting colors, some colors that I've never seen, at least in this bait before. Got ourselves one called Russ Vegas, which I don't even know how to describe this color. It's like a smoke pale gray. The top of it's got like a purple iridescence, and it's got like some confetti almost in the bottom. It's a really weird looking color. I've never seen this before, but really friggin' sweet. As soon as I saw it, I knew I had to pick some up. Then we got the blue smoke color, which is kind of like a shad baitfish imitator. Just kind of like a light smoke gray color with a bunch of blue flake in it. Should do good, again, imitating like a baitfish, minnow of some sort, but could also be a good bluegill imitator. A lot of the bluegill around here do have a ton of blue in them. And then we also got a pack of the old summer gills. So this is just kind of like a natural bright bluegill kind of color. It's like a green pumpkin watermelon style color on top, and then like more of a bright copperish color, yellow color on the bottom. The top's got black and blue flake in it. The bottom's got like some yellow and copper flake in it. Really good looking color, one of my personal favorites. I throw this in their swim bait, the Yum Pulse, a good bit, but I've never seen it in their dingers, so once I saw it, I knew I had to pick it up because it just was absolutely killer. But yeah, moving on from just the straight worms, we got ourselves a couple of ChatterBait trailers. Got some of these new Z-Man Chatter Spikes. I've never seen these before, but this is supposedly their ChatterBait specific trailer. It's weird that it took Z-Man so long to come out with their own like ChatterBait trailer when they are the ones who created the ChatterBait. But here we are. We have the Chatter Spike. This is in the deal color, so it's kind of like a smoky shad on top and like a lighter iridescent blue on the bottom. Super natural baitfish color. It should be great imitating anything, whether it's a bluegill or a perch or a shad or a crappie or anything. That does a great job imitating that. It's just kind of like an ambiguous color. Again, does a great job imitating a bluegill, does a good job imitating a minnow, a shad, a crappie, pretty much whatever you're trying to imitate, this will do a good job for it. And that's the 4.5 inch size, comes in a pack of 5. I'm really excited to throw these things around a little bit, see what they look like on the back of the ChatterBait. That Z-Man Elastic is super soft, but also super tough, so really excited to see what the action's like in the water. I imagine that little whippy tail has got a ton of action when it's behind the ChatterBait, just going like this, super fast. But yeah, regardless, really excited to see how these things perform on the back of the ChatterBait. Maybe we'll have to throw them on that Evo ChatterBait that we picked up earlier and see what the pairing looks like together. Alrighty, I also got myself a pack of the Rapala Crush City Freeloader. So this is Rapala's new soft plastics line. I believe they call them Crush City Customs. I actually picked up a bunch of these Crush City baits. I thought they looked really good, but we're going to start off talking about this guy. This is again the ChatterBait trailer that they came out with called the Freeloader. Comes in a pack of 6. It's 4.25 inches long, which is the perfect size for a ChatterBait trailer. This color is the black and blue green pumpkin color, so Black and blue on top, green pumpkin on the bottom. Should be a perfect imitator for like some dirtier water if you're trying to imitate a bluegill or something. But yeah, really sweet looking little baits right there. Haven't heard a whole lot about these Crush City Customs at all really, but really excited to see what they can do in the spring and summer for me. Again, picked up a few different iterations of their baits, so we're going to have a few of these Crush City Customs to play with coming up here. And yeah, this should look great on the back of a ChatterBait as well. Again, a little bit more of a dirty water color. Got that black and blue on top and then the green pumpkin on the bottom, but you can use this for clear water as well if you're just trying to imitate like a bluegill or something. But yeah, really excited to see what these things can do. I love seeing new bait companies, especially ones that come out with some really sweet looking bait designs like this one, so we're going to have to try these things out and maybe order a bunch more of this Crush City Customs in the future. Alrighty, got a nice handful of some soft plastic swim baits. I don't usually pick up a lot of soft plastic swim baits just because I currently have a ton, but this time around I decided to get some smaller ones. Like I said earlier, I want to try and throw some smaller style soft plastic swim baits earlier in the year when the water's super cold, so went out and found some smaller size soft plastics. Start off with these guys. These are the 6 cent whale. This is the 3.5 inch size. These baits look insane in the water. I don't know what they did. I don't know if it's because of these little fins on the side or maybe just the shape of the bait or the body or something, but regardless, these things look incredible. They've got an unbelievable quivering action in the water, and I am so excited to throw this thing around. The 3.5 inch size is a little bit bigger than what I was looking for, but it should still be pretty solid to imitate those smaller bait fish, so we're definitely going to be throwing these things around a little bit here in the future. They come in a pack of 8. This color is Pro Blue, super natural looking bait fish imitator, and yeah, these things should be perfect on some of those little jig heads that we picked up earlier. But yeah, really excited to throw these things around. I've heard a lot of really good things about the whales. Haven't had a chance to throw them around at all myself, but yeah, saw they had a couple of packs of the Dick's Sporting Goods, picked up one, and yeah, we're going to have to give these things a shot at some point soon. We also got a pack of these Divine swim baits. These are the 3.8 inch size, so like more of a standard size swim bait. A little bit on the smaller size, but should be a great like ChatterBait swim jig trailer. This is in the Pro Shad color, not the Pro Blue color, so a little bit different. Got a little bit of a different color pattern to it, but still very lifelike, very bait fishy. Just a light gray back, almost like an iridescent white belly, and then has some gold flake all through it. Looks like a really good little bait right there. Super excited to throw this thing around at some point in the future. Again, should be a great ChatterBait spinnerbait trailer. Could also be really good just on like a normal jig head by itself. A little bit bigger than what I was looking for this time of the year, but come in the spring and the pre-spawn, these things should get a bit. Alright, something a little bit ridiculous, but I saw these and I was like, these are hilarious, I gotta get some. These are also by Dark Matter, which is the same company that made that monster spook before. These are called the Finback Shad. They call this color Bunker. This is a rainbow trout. I don't know why they think this is what a bunker looks like. I've seen bunker before. My friend has bit the head off of a bunker before. This is not what a bunker looks like. I'll put up a picture of a bunker for you guys, but this is not a bunker. This is a rainbow trout for sure. Got the green back, got some yellow and orangey pink all the way through the body, and then just like a bright white belly. I've never in my life seen a bunker that color, but I've seen many a rainbow trout that looks pretty similar to that, so we're going to have to maybe find somewhere with some rainbow trout in it and maybe do a challenge video on these things. Again, they're just hilarious looking baits. They're just like these little like flat-nosed, singular finned swim bait. I've never seen anything like them before. I think these are saltwater baits, but these things were just too funny for me not to pick up. Figure we may as well grab them, at least for a challenge video. I feel like this would be really fun to try and catch some fish on. So yeah, got ourselves some radioactive bunker rainbow trout from Dark Matter. Super stoked to see what we can do on those. Okay, these are again a saltwater bait. These are from Saltwater Assassin, but I picked them up just because they're just a normal swim bait. This is their Sea Shad is what they call that, but it's just like a 6 or 6.5 inch swim bait. They call that color Blue Mackerel, but again, just like a super lifelike, super natural bait fish color. I figured I may as well pick up a little bit of a bigger profile swim bait. Again, 6 inches, a little bit bigger than what I normally throw in terms of soft plastic swim baits, but it's pretty much the exact same size as like a 6-inch mag draft or something like that, so very similar profile to that overall. But yeah, I'm gonna have to get some big old swim bait hooks and throw these things around at some point. I don't think this is gonna be like a challenge video per se, because it won't really even be that much of a challenge to get bit on these. They're just a little bit big, but other than that, they're like a great looking little swim bait. So that's kind of why I picked them up. I thought they looked pretty good. Whenever on a really good swim bait bite, I may just pick these things up and try and upsize a little bit, just to see if I can get a little bit of a bigger bite, but other than that, just a normal little 6-inch swim bait for you. Alrighty, and just like that, we are back to the Crush City Customs. We got ourselves a couple of the Mayors, which is their small soft plastic swim baits. They come in a couple of different sizes. I got myself a pack of the 4-inch. This is the Gizzard Shad color, so just a natural shad style bait fish imitator. Just kind of like a gray with some gold flake on top, and then just like a silvery whitish belly with some silver flake in it. Really, really good looking bait, really, really good looking color as well. Super excited to throw this thing around. Again, this is the 4-inch size, so this is just kind of like a normal swim bait. I figured I may as well pick up one of the bigger sizes just to see if we can catch some fish on this thing solo on like a normal Texas rig, just to get a better idea as to what these baits can do. But we got the 4-inch size right there, and then we also got 2 packs of the 3-inch size. So these are like super, super small. Again, will be perfect for this time of the year. We got 2 of the 3 inches. This is the Sight Flash color, which is the bright white, and then we got ourselves another pack of the Gizzard Shads as well. These come in an 8-pack, and I am so stoked to get these things in the water. Again, these will be perfect for this time of the year when they're trying to feed up on some really tiny bait fish. They're a little bit of a bulkier presentation, but again, nice little compact size, should be perfect for this time of the year. Again, throwing on those little 1/8-ounce jig heads, this should be a perfect size. But yeah, got ourselves a couple of packs of the Mayors. Again, don't really know a whole lot about these Crush Cities, but these things look friggin' sweet, so I had to grab a couple of packs of them. And last up, we got some craws. So we're going to start off with these guys. These are the Big Bite baits. Oh jeez, they don't even have a name on them. They're just like some big bite bait craw. I think they call that the tilapia color. It's just like a natural bait fish bluegill imitator. Got a bunch of different colored flake in it. Really good looking little bait though. I've used these things before. I don't know again exactly what they're called, but they're very similar to like a net bait packer craw. Actually, I think they're almost the exact same mold as the net bait packer craw, but very similar. They've got like an air chamber in the head of them as well, so you can either put a rattle or some scent, or just have like a little air pocket in there to help it stand up a little bit better. But yeah, I think these are on sale. I think I got them for like $1.50 or something like that, so figured I may as well pick them up just because again I find these big bite baits in the bargain bin along with the Yum baits a whole lot, and they're usually pretty inexpensive, and these ones again I think for like $1 or $1.50, so figured I may as well scoop some and add them to the arsenal. And one more time to wrap it up, we're going to go right back to the Crush City Customs. We got ourselves 3 more packs of these. We got 1 pack of the Bronco Bugs, which is kind of like their flippin' bait, almost like a creature style bait. I've never seen a bait like this. It's a very interesting profile. They don't even have like normal claws, they just kind of have paddles on them. I don't know if that gives it more action or less action. Maybe it's just a profile thing for this thing, but regardless, I've seen Jacob Wheeler catching a lot of fish on these things since they've been releasing, and I'm really excited to see what we can do with them. This is the black and blue color, so again, just a perfect little dirty water flipping bait. I don't have a ton of flipping baits, and I definitely don't have a ton of dirty water flipping baits, so I figured we may as well pick up some of these little Bronco Bugs. And then we also got a couple of packs of their craw/jig trailers. These are the cleanup craws. These are 3.5 inches long. We got 2 different packs of them right here. Got the watermelon red color, and then of course the black and blue color. Just a clear water and a dirty water color to try these things out. And yeah, these are again, like I said, they're craw or jig trailer style baits. Should be good for both of them, either on a Texas rig by itself or as a jig trailer. The claws are almost reminiscent of like a rage craw. They've got those little flanges on them, so that should give these things some good action in the water, but overall pretty compact little finesse style profile. Again, should be good on a Texas rig by itself or as a jig trailer, which is probably how I'll probably be using these most of the time, but regardless, these things are pretty sweet looking, and they're a good little bite-sized crawfish presentation, so I had to pick up a couple of them just because I throw a lot of craws and I really like the way that these things look, so may as well grab them. And yeah, overall, pretty innovative little compact craw style trailer. Really excited to throw these things around and see what we can do with them this year. Alright folks, and like 3-4 hours later, I am finally done with the entire unboxing. I filmed everything that I need to film, done all the little B-roll footage for all these baits. Now all I gotta do is organize all this stuff, put it all away for next season, and get ready to start throwing some of it around pretty soon. But really hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you want to see some more content from me. If any of the challenge or review style videos sounded good to you guys and you guys really want to see those videos, or if you want to see a review style video on anything else in this pile, let me know down in the comment section below. I'm more than happy to do a video on any specific bait in here. But yeah, I think that's going to do it for me. I'll check them and wreck them, and I'll catch you in the next one. I'm out. Peace.